Babes, somewhere right now, like at this exact moment, someone is getting pied off. Someone is saying, I'm just exploring my connections. And someone is about to make a decision so incredibly messy that it honestly deserves its own public service announcement. So, obviously, it is time for Love Island USA.
Welcome back to the Snark Side. We love you, we see you, and babes, we are so happy you're here with us tonight for this absolute disaster class in human relationships.
We are so thrilled you're here. And to the Snark Squad out there, listening in your cars or walking your dogs or aggressively avoiding your emails, I need you to know that tonight we have passion fruit mojitos on deck.
Oh, we do.
And let me tell you, the vibe is absolutely giving tropical villa energy.
It really is. And we actually need to take a brief, highly serious second here to acknowledge that passion fruit is, without a doubt, the unsung hero of the tropical fruit world.
Literally the unsung hero.
Right. Like pineapple gets all the glory because of pina coladas, and mango is just sort of the default sweet option, but passion fruit. It has that aggressive tartness. It has complexity. It is doing the absolute heavy lifting in this drink right now, just cutting through the sugar like a knife.
It is the bombshell walking into the villa of fruits. It shakes the table immediately. Honestly, if I were ever cast on Love Island, which, by the way, is a terrifying thought, my dream cocktail, the specific drink I would demand the producers make me every single night while I'm getting ready in the makeup room, would be heavily passion fruit.
Naturally.
Aggressively sweet, but with a violently spicy rim. I'm not like a Fijian and ghost pepper rim. I want my lips to be physically burning while I'm pulling a boy for a chat, just to tell him he's giving me the ick.
That is the most on-brand visual I have ever heard from you. A ghost pepper rim while you ruin a 23-year-old personal trainer's life.
I mean, you have to set the tone.
You do. But you know what's fascinating when you look at the psychology of the Islanders? You could entirely predict their personalities based on what they would order at a standard bar.
Oh my gosh, yes. Wait, give me an example.
Okay, like Kenzie. You just know Kenzie is the girl holding up the line on a busy Friday night asking the bartender for like...
Oh, yes.
She's leaning over the sticky counter saying, can I get a skinny margarita but substitute the tequila for an obscure mezcal you probably don't have? Add exactly 3 drops of agave, muddle some cucumbers, but whatever you do, do not leave the seeds in. And honestly, no cheese.
I try to stay away from cheese. Literally one of the greatest quotes of the entire season. She is so deeply unserious.
So unserious.
And then, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you have sincere. Sincere is definitely walking up to the bar, totally ignoring the bartender for like 3 solid minutes, just to establish dominance, and then ordering something incredibly smooth and complex.
Like a smoked old-fashioned with a single, perfectly clear ice cube.
Yes. Just to look cool. Like he doesn't even like the taste of whiskey. He just wants to hold the heavy glass while he tells 3 different women that they are his twin flame.
Precisely. He is letting that artisan ice cube melt into water while he recites a poem he literally Googled 10 minutes ago in the bathroom. The drink is just a prop for his manipulation.
It's all a prop. But wait, speaking of food and drinks and coping mechanisms, we have to tell the Snark Squad about the lunch we had today, because it profoundly shifted my mood.
Oh my God, yes we do. It was a spiritual experience.
It really was. So we accidentally ended up taking late lunches at the exact same time today between our respective work meetings, and we decided to just ditch our sad salads and meet up, and honestly, it was the absolute highlight of my week.
Same.
We found this tiny, totally unassuming little Mediterranean spot tucked away in a strip mall.
And the order was absolutely elite. We did not hold back. We got 2 massive chicken shawarma wraps, a literal mountain of garlic potatoes, the most vibrant, fresh, olive oil-drenched hummus you have ever seen in your life, warm, pillowy pita bread straight out of the oven, and of course, baklava to split at the end.
I need everyone to just imagine this for a second.
Yeah.
The moment that food hit the table, the smell, the heavily seasoned garlic and herb cloud that was washed over us, it was intoxicating.
It was.
I am not exaggerating when I say that fresh hummus literally changed my life today. Like, I tasted it, and my brain chemistry altered completely. I'm a different, significantly more patient person now than I was this morning.
It was a religious experience.
Yeah.
And let the record show, we absolutely fought to the death over the last garlic potato.
We did. It was a bloodbath.
Forks were actively clashing in the middle of the restaurant, but I maintain that I would happily eat those specific garlic potatoes every single day for the rest of my natural life. Mediterranean food is the great equalizer. It never, ever disappoints.
It never disappoints. It is the most reliable thing in the universe.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there completely blissed out, radiating garlic from our pores. And I had this epiphany. I was looking at you and I was like, if the producers just fed the Love Island contestants meals like this, instead of those sad little dry toasties and protein smoothies the boys are always making, half the arguments in the villa would magically disappear.
See, I completely disagree.
Really? What?
If anything, giving them a heavy, carb-loaded Mediterranean meal would just make them lethargic and way less likely to fight for entertainment. But you are touching on something crucial, which is sensory deprivation.
Oh, totally.
Hanger is the unseen, uncredited producer of Love Island. You have a bunch of 20-somethings, completely sleep-deprived from staying up till 4 a.m. gossiping, baking in the relentless Fiji sun, and surviving on iced coffee, avocado toast, and sheer adrenaline. Of course, they're going to scream at each other over a game of truth or dare. Their nervous systems are fried.
Right. Okay, so we were having this lunch, just having a quiet moment away from work, and we somehow ended up spiraling into this completely random debate. And I need the Snark Squad to weigh in on this in the comments later. The question was, if you had to spend exactly 1 month living inside any reality TV show, universe-like, you were contractually bound for 30 days. Which one would you choose?
And we violently, fundamentally disagreed on this.
We did, because my pick is Love Island, obviously. Think about it. You're in a stunning villa in Fiji or Majorca. There is constant sunshine. You have a limitless wardrobe of cute outfits provided for you. You're flirting all day, lounging on hot pink beanbags, and you have zero real responsibilities.
I mean...
It's essentially a free, all-inclusive vacation with ridiculously hot people. Why would you not want that?
I rejected that premise immediately. Absolutely not. First of all, I would get dumped from the island in 48 hours because I would ask way too many logical questions, which is basically the kryptonite of villa romance.
You would. You'd be interrogating them.
I would. I'd be looking at these 22-year-old boys like, okay, that's great that your favorite color is blue, but what is your credit score? Do you know how to do your own taxes? Do you rent or own?
You chill the vibe instantly.
Instantly. The producers would beg me to leave. I picked a show where there is actual high-quality food as the central premise. Give me the Top Chef universe where I can just sit at the judge's table and eat foam. Or even Below Deck.
Okay, Below Deck is a good shout.
Right. There's a private chef making me 5-course meals on a yacht while I sit in the sun and judge the staff's interpersonal drama from afar.
Okay, I do see the appeal of the yacht chef, but wait. Let's really unpack the reality of the Love Island villa for a second, because this ties directly into what we watched tonight. Could either of us actually survive a house where you are never, ever allowed to Google anything?
Literally never.
No phones, no internet, no books, no music, no podcasts, no contact with the outside world. And you are forced to talk about your internal emotional state 24/7 with people you met, like 72 hours ago.
No. We would both be sent home in a psychiatric transport vehicle.
Yeah.
The lack of mental stimulation is actually terrifying. We would get sent home just for demanding alone time.
So true.
I would literally be hiding in the pantry, sitting on a sack of flour, just whispering, please, just let me sit in silence for 20 minutes. Stop asking me where my head is at. My head is empty. I have nothing left to give.
My head is currently craving a garlic potato. Please leave me alone. Oh my God, I would lose my mind without my Spotify playlists. But that complete and total isolation, that is exactly why this episode was so unhinged. But babes, enough about our imaginary villa careers.
Yeah.
Let's get into the people actually living this madness, because Season 8, Episode 20 was a cinematic masterpiece of human suffering.
It truly was. It was the penultimate night before the final Casa Amor recoupling, which is historically the most volatile episode of any season. The stakes are at their absolute peak, the sleep deprivation has fully set in, and the producers are ready to pull the pin on the grenade.
And pull the pin they did. So let's dive right into the catalyst for all the chaos that happened tonight. The challenge and the mailboxes.
Right. So the architecture of this episode pivots entirely on the raunchy races challenge, which the Islanders were referring to as the chain game. It's a classic, heavily utilized Love Island mechanism.
Yeah.
The main villa and Casa Amor are competing in these speed-based raunchy tasks. You know, passing items, mouth-to-mouth, kissing the youngest boy, demonstrating their favorite sex position, that sort of thing. It's designed to force physical contact between the original Islanders and the new bombshells.
Which is so manipulative. It's like, oh, you want to stay loyal? Well, your team will lose the challenge unless you make out with this guy for 10 seconds.
Exactly. And the main villa lost specifically because of the chain mechanic, where they struggled to pass an item down a line of people quickly enough. But losing the challenge isn't just about pride. Losing sets the stage for the ultimate punishment in the Love Island universe, which is the delivery of the Casa Amor postcards.
The visceral panic I felt through my screen when those mailboxes arrived. I swear it was a physical reaction in my gut. Kenzie walks up to the mailbox. She pulls out this little bundle of 4x6 printed photos, flips through them, and just looks at the girls with this dead expression and goes, "Y'all ain't gonna want to see this." Chills. Literal chills down my spine.
It is brilliant, sadistic television because we joked about hiding in the pantry to avoid talking about our feelings, but that's exactly why the Casa Amor postcards are so devastating. These people have zero outside stimuli. Their baseline reality is entirely dependent on what the producers spoon-feed them.
Right, because in the real world, if you see a photo of your partner looking cozy with someone at a party on Instagram, you have tools to deal with it. You can text them. You can call their best friend. You can look at the timestamp or the context of the other photos on the grid.
Exactly. You have context and communication. Here, they have been completely starved of information for 4 days. So when you drop an out-of-context, high-definition analog photograph of their partner kissing someone else, their brains just short-circuit.
They just break.
The visual evidence overwrites whatever promises were made 4 days ago. It triggers a profound panic response. It's not just a game anymore. It's a highly controlled psychological stress test designed to break their trust.
It really is. And the person who failed that stress test the hardest, or the person who was most fundamentally broken by it, bless her heart, was Kayda. Let's unpack Kayda and Zach, because this was so tough to watch. I was spiraling watching Kayda's sheer devastation.
It was rough.
She sees this photo of Zach kissing the new bombshell, Alannah. And she doesn't just cry. She literally falls flat on her back on the couch, staring at the ceiling, just sobbing from her chest.
It was a full physical collapse. Her body language was pure defeat. She looked like she was in genuine physical pain.
Because she feels incredibly stupid. And there's nothing worse than feeling like you've been played on national television. She has been in the main villa being completely loyal, completely respectful of Zach.
Barely even looking at the new guys.
Exactly. She's talking to the new boy, Che, but she's keeping him at arm's length. She's saying things like, "I want to be true to myself, I'm taking my time." She's holding back because she feels tied to Zach. And here is the absolute kicker. They went to the hideaway and slept together right before Casa Amor started.
Which is the cardinal sin of Love Island timing. You do not, under any circumstances, go to the hideaway right before Casa Amor.
Never.
It creates a false sense of security for the woman, and it usually gives the man a sense of conquest right before he's presented with a buffet of new options.
Exactly. So she feels deeply, intimately betrayed. But if we break down Zach's reaction on the other side, my God, I wanted to throw my remote at the television. The hypocrisy is staggering.
Let's look at the timeline. Zach gets a set of postcards over in Casa Amor. He flips through and sees a photo of Kayda kissing Che. Now, anyone with functioning eyes could see that Kayda was wearing an elaborate angel costume in the photo.
She had literal wings on. It was so obviously part of the raunchy races challenge. No one is lounging around the pool on a Tuesday afternoon dressed like a Victoria's Secret angel, unless production specifically told them to.
Exactly. The context clues are glaring. But Zach instantly becomes paranoid. He starts spiraling, pacing around, telling the boys he can't trust her, completely ignoring the fact that he has actually been making out with Alannah in bed outside of any challenge. He's projecting his own guilt onto her.
He is projecting so hard. He's sitting there sweating over a game of truth or dare, while he's actively rubbing his lips against another woman's neck. But I don't even think he's actually heartbroken. I think he's panicked about his image.
I agree, and this raises a crucial point about Zach's underlying motivations. We really have to look at the calculated nature of his game. Remember, early in the season, Zach explicitly mentioned that his brother was on a previous season of the show.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Right, and he stated that his main goal was to last longer on the show than his brother did. It's a sibling rivalry wrapped in a reality TV strategy.
Yes, he wants to beat his brother's record.
So the question is his loyalty to Kayda, or rather his performance of loyalty, just a game plan to win America's vote? When he sees that postcard of Kayda kissing Che, is he upset because he loves her, or is he terrified that she is going to recouple, leaving him vulnerable to being dumped from the island? Does the postcard ruin his image as the loyal, long-suffering boyfriend?
Oh, I 100% think he's playing a game. He wanted them to be the golden couple, the mom and dad of the villa. But here is where it gets incredibly messy. And we have to address the massive, real-world elephant in the room that completely scrambles Zach's entire Casa Amor strategy.
You do. The off-screen drama that bled into the production of the show, which was practically breaking the internet while this episode aired.
Right. So for the Snark Squad, who might have only watched the episode and missed the absolute war zone on TikTok and Reddit today, Peacock officially removed Casa bombshell Alannah Kaiser from the show, like pulled her out of the villa mid-production.
Yes. And just looking at what the community and various entertainment outlets are reporting, this decision was made abruptly because a past video of Alannah resurfaced online. In the video, she is allegedly using a racial slur while singing along to a song.
Yeah, the internet works fast, and the fans found it immediately. And to be clear, we are just impartially retorting on the reality of how this impacts the show. We are watching, we aren't taking sides on the politics of it all, just laying out the facts of production. Peacock clearly saw the backlash brewing, realized they had a massive liability on their hands, and pulled her immediately.
Right. If you watch the episode closely, she was technically still in the background of a few wide shots in episode 20 because of how timelines work, but her abrupt departure was briefly addressed by production via a text, meaning she is officially gone.
Gone.
She has been erased from the narrative. And purely from a game mechanics perspective, what this means is that Zach is now stranded on an island of his own making.
Literally stranded.
His backup plan, his temptation, his entire storyline for Casa Amor is literally gone. He has no choice but to walk back into that main villa single. He kissed Alannah, he broke Kayda's trust. The producers literally fed the photographic evidence to Kayda to ensure maximum destruction. And now Zach doesn't even have Alannah to bring back to justify the betrayal.
It's insane.
He can't even stand at the fire pit and say, I found a better connection. He has to stand there completely alone.
He fumbled the bag for absolutely nothing. It is giving extreme karma, honestly. He is going to walk back in alone, thinking Kayda might take him back, and she's going to eviscerate him. I cannot wait. But let's move from one messy man to another, because we have to talk about Anaya and Casey.
We absolutely do.
The audacity of Casey in this episode. I was standing up in my living room, yelling at my television. I had to pause it and walk a lap around my kitchen.
Let's dissect Casey's conversations, specifically his chat on the daybeds with Corbin. This was an incredibly revealing moment where the mask completely slipped. Casey and Corbin are discussing the Casa Amor girls, Parita and Tiara. And Corbin says, and Casey enthusiastically agrees, that the Casa girls are like college girls, while the OG girls back in the main villa are high school girls.
This is a disrespect. The absolute unmitigated disrespect to the women who have carried this show on their backs for 3 weeks.
It's a fascinating psychological framing technique, though. They are essentially trying to justify their heads turning by degrading the maturity of the women they left behind. By labeling Anaya and Kenzie as high school, it removes their guilt for acting terribly.
Ew, you're right.
It's a preemptive defense mechanism. Like, I didn't betray a mature woman, I just outgrew a high schooler. It gaslights the audience into thinking the men are just seeking intellectual stimulation, which we know is a lie.
Exactly. As if Casey is sitting around discussing macroeconomics with Tiara, please. But that wasn't even the worst part. The wildest claim of the night, the thing that made my jaw actually unhinge from my skull, was KC talking about Anaya's postcard.
Oh, this part.
He sees a picture of Anaya kissing Carl during the challenge, and he tells the boys that Anaya's on a thin-ass line. And then he actually says that he has more leeway than Anaya to act out in Casa Amor because, and this is a direct quote, he spoke life into her every day.
I had to rewind that 3 times to make sure I heard it correctly. That quote is a masterclass in toxic conditional affection. If we use an analogy here, Casey is treating emotional support like a literal transaction. He's comparing his relationship with Anaya to putting a coin in a vending machine.
Wow, yes.
He thinks because he dispensed compliments, because he told her she was beautiful and spoke life into her insecurities, he has accumulated some sort of currency, he has earned sheet points, he genuinely believes he purchased the right to explore other women without consequence, while demanding absolute unwavering loyalty from her in return.
Yes. The vending machine analogy is perfect. But it's almost worse than that. It's like he thinks he's at an emotional Dave & Buster's, just cashing in tickets for a prize. Yeah. It is so gross. Being a decent human being and being nice to your partner doesn't give you a free pass to make out with a bombshell for 3 days.
It reveals that he never viewed her as an equal partner. He viewed her as a project he was funding.
Exactly. And meanwhile, back in the villa, Anaya is having a total heartbreaking breakdown. She's crying on the stairs, curled up in a ball, telling Kenzie that she feels like she's wasting her entire Love Island experience, moping over a guy who got over her in 2 days. She's mourning a connection that Casey is actively mocking with his bros.
Which brings us to another massive point of controversy from the episode, something that is dominating the discourse online right now. We need to look at Anaya's reaction to seeing the photo of Casey and Tiara kissing.
Right. So looking at the fallout on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube today, people are deeply divided over this. And again, we're just impartially sharing what the community is saying here. When Anaya saw the photo on the postcard, she reacted specifically to Tiara's appearance. Anaya looked at the photo and called Tiara a Fulani braid-wearing bitch.
And this specific phrasing sparked an intense, incredibly nuanced debate across the community. There's a prominent YouTube commentator, Natural Nay LA, who did a very thorough breakdown of this specific comment. The argument being made by critics is that this statement borders on anti-blackness and colorism.
I saw that video. It was a really intense breakdown.
Right. The argument is that pointing out the Fulani braids, which is a specifically black cultural hairstyle, and weaponizing it as an insult, implies that Anaya might have deeply seated issues with dark-skinned black women. This is compounded by the fact that Anaya seemed specifically threatened that Casey chose to pursue another black woman rather than a white or Latina bombshell.
And the discourse on Twitter was wild because you had half the fans doing absolute mental gymnastics to defend Anaya. They were saying she just didn't know Tiara's name because she hasn't met her, so she was just identifying her by her most prominent feature, her hair.
Which is one way to look at it.
Right. But the commentators, and a huge chunk of the black female viewership, felt it was a targeted microaggressive attack. Especially because for weeks, fans have been accusing Casey of being a colorist based on his dating history, so for Anaya to then turn around and use a culturally specific hairstyle as a pejorative against the girl Casey picked, it flipped the whole narrative upside down.
It really highlights how reality TV acts as a pressure cooker for real-world societal issues. We put these people in a vacuum, but they bring all their internalized biases with them, and the audience is hyper-analyzing every single word these islanders say, looking for these deeper psychological and sociological tells. It's not just about who kisses who anymore, it's about the specific language they use when their egos are threatened and their backs are against the wall.
Exactly. The Snark Squad is always watching. We miss nothing.
God.
Okay, I need to take a breath because we have to move on to the absolute reigning champions of delusion, Melanie, Sincere, and Corey.
Ah, the holy trinity of cognitive dissonance.
I was cry-laughing during this segment. I literally had tears in my eyes. So Melanie receives her postcard. She is staring at a high-definition, gloss-printed photograph of her man, Sincere, literally biting the new bombshell Amora's neck. It is an incredibly intimate, aggressive photo.
Very aggressive.
And Melanie looks at it, pauses, looks at the girls, and goes, maybe it's a challenge.
It is a profound rejection of objective reality. She is experiencing such intense psychological discomfort that her brain simply refuses to process the image accurately. She is actively inventing an alternate reality to protect her fragile feelings.
And the girls shut her down immediately. It was incredible. They didn't even coddle her. Trinity looks at the photo and goes, girl, no. His hair was down.
Which is such an amazing detail.
It's peak female friendship. They know Sincere's hair patterns. They know he only takes his braids out and wears his hair down when he's actively trying to seduce someone late at night outside of a game. They clocked his aesthetic immediately.
But let's analyze Sincere's absolute nonsense over in Casa Amor, because he is putting on a clinic in manipulative behavior. He sits down with Amora, and he realizes he needs to separate himself from the other guys. He wants to seem deep, intellectual, and sensitive. So he claims, with a straight face, that he minored in sign language in college.
A boldness of the lie.
Amora naturally asks him to show her something, just a basic phrase. And this man, the supposed minor in American Sign Language who spent years studying it at a collegiate level, pauses, panics, holds up his hands, and says, I think it goes like this.
I was screaming. I think it goes like this. A. I learned how to sign the letter A when I was a literal toddler watching PBS. You don't think it goes like that if you minored in it? It is just a closed fist with your thumb on the side. It's like lying on your resume saying you are highly proficient in Excel, and then when your boss asks you to make a spreadsheet, you ask them how to turn on the computer.
It is the logic of a man who has never been challenged in his life. He is just stringing together whatever combination of words he thinks makes him sound profound. And the worst part is he follows up this disastrous lie by telling the guys later that he has to be touchy-feely with Amora to see if the connection works. He claims it's empirical research. He tells them he needs to kiss her to figure out if he actually misses Melanie.
I just need to kiss her a few more times, bro, for science. It's a hypothesis I'm testing. Make it stop. The mental gymnastics these men do to justify cheating is exhausting. But then you have to contrast Sincere's smooth-talking manipulation with Corey back in the main villa.
Corey, who is attempting the most aggressive nice guy routine in reality TV history.
Yes. Corey is trying so hard to woo Melanie while Sincere's gone. They're out on the terrace for a romantic chat, and Corey is wearing bedazzled jeans and Timberland boots.
An incredibly intense, sartorial choice for a balmy romantic evening in Fiji.
Truly. He looked like he was going to a 2004 hip-hop video shoot, not a date. And they are having the most disconnected, bizarre conversation of all time. Corey's trying to be this sweet, attentive guy leaning in, telling her he wants to teach her how to swim in the pool tomorrow. And Melanie is completely ignoring him. She is staring off into the middle distance, fully disassociated, talking about how her life goal is to buy a massive land compound so her entire extended family can live on golf carts.
They are having two entirely separate conversations. It's like they are starring in two completely different movies. But I actually have a major theory about Corey here.
Tell me, because I think he's just awkward.
No, I think it's much more calculated. Is Corey actually into Melanie? If you study his body language, his intense eye contact, and his approach, it feels incredibly forced and rehearsed. Corey knows exactly what game he's playing.
Wait, really?
Think about it. He knows Melanie is the most emotionally vulnerable girl in the villa because of Sincere's well-documented track record of wandering eyes. Corey is aggressively trying to secure his ticket into the main villa, and he is just feeding her all the right buzzwords to do it. He's saying acts of service, he's talking about emotional vulnerability, he's bringing up how much he loves his mom, he's reverse engineering the perfect boyfriend persona to guarantee she picks him at the recoupling.
Wait, I actually think you're right. He's totally playing the game. He's reading off a script. He identified the wounded gazelle in the herd and went straight for her.
Exactly. It's predatory disguised as protective.
Okay, let's unpack the absolute flop era of this episode. Kenzie, Corbin, and Jen. Just a vortex of bad decisions.
A masterclass in messy, unregulated behavior. Let's start with Corbin. Corbin proudly stated to Casey that he hasn't thought about Kenzie a single time since arriving in Casa Amor. He claims Kenzie gave him the ick, which is rich coming from him. He is entirely 100% all in on Parmita, who he described to the boys as almost perfect.
Which, first of all, rude to Kenzie. But second of all, Kenzie's rebound is so hilariously chaotic that I can't even be mad at it. Kenzie receives Corbin's postcard, which shows him cozying up to Parmita. She pretends she doesn't care, flips her hair, and goes full chaotic evil. She decides she is going to flirt with every single breathing male in her vicinity.
She weaponized her single status immediately.
She is talking to Dylan on the beanbags, twirling her hair, telling him she wants surfer babies with him and that she can see them living in California. And then, literally 5 minutes later, the camera cuts, and she is upstairs exploring things with Gal, telling him they have a deep, unspoken connection. She is bouncing around that villa like a pinball. And we have to mention her confessional quote, which has been making the rounds on every single meme page today.
It was the funniest, most unexpected moment of the night.
She's sitting in the beach hut, completely unbothered by the fact that her relationship is crumbling, and she just randomly, out of nowhere, drops the car smelled like ass. No context. Just a flashback to a ride she took earlier.
It's the sheer randomness of it. Kenzie is deeply, fundamentally unserious, which actually makes her the perfect contestant for Casa Amor. She understands the assignment, she knows this is a game of musical chairs, and she refuses to be left standing when the music stops.
Exactly. But Jen, on the other hand, is completely misreading the room. She is playing a totally different game, and she is losing.
Let's tear into Jen's behavior, because the online community is ripping her apart today, and rightly so. Jen is displaying incredibly conceited, fragile behavior. Here is the setup. Jen is getting to know Gal. Gal, who is remarkably mature for his age, pulls Jen aside and simply asks her a question. He asks if she's feeling jealous that he also wants to have a conversation with Kenzie.
Which is a totally normal, healthy boundary check. He's communicating.
Yes. Gal is communicating openly, which is exactly what you are supposed to do when navigating multiple connections. But Jen's ego cannot handle the implication that she isn't his sole focus. She gets intensely defensive, her tone shifts, she runs back to the girls to complain, and she delivers this incredibly revealing line. She says, "I'm used to guys drooling over me. I'm always the one guys are obsessed with."
The ego, the delusion. Babes, if guys were always obsessed with you, you wouldn't be crying on a wooden dock in Fiji on reality television. And the wildest part of this whole sequence is how she retaliates. She throws this massive fit about Gal, claims she's a prize to be won, and then to soothe her bruised ego, she immediately goes and makes out with Ronnie. Ronnie, who the entire internet has brutally and I mean savagely noted, has a very visible dead tooth.
The dead tooth commentary was rampant across Reddit. It's a massive, jarring drop in physical standards, fueled entirely by a narcissistic injury. Jen wanted validation so badly, she needed to prove to herself that she was desirable, that she completely abandoned her genuine connection with Gal just to prove she could get someone to kiss her on command. It's a very transparent, very sad defense mechanism.
It is so transparent. She kissed the dead tooth just to spite the healthy communicator. Make it make sense. But okay, we have to end this recap with the cinematic, sweeping masterpiece of the episode, Bryce and Trinity.
Let's analyze Bryce's reaction to the postcards because it is the exact polar opposite of Zach's paranoid spiral. Bryce receives his bundle of photos. He flips to Trinity's card. He sees Trinity, his girl, kissing a guy. And it's not just any guy, it's a guy covered in tattoos. Bryce explicitly knows out loud that he doesn't have tattoos, so he immediately recognizes that this new guy is Trinity's physical type. Furthermore, it's not a challenge photo. They are clearly making out in a photo booth, which implies intimacy and choice.
Right. Now, most guys on this show, especially the ones with fragile masculinity, would see that photo. Their egos would shatter into a million pieces, and they would immediately go pull the nearest Casa girl to make out with, just to get revenge.
But what does Bryce do?
He doesn't spiral. He doesn't yell. He processes his emotions like a fully grown adult man. He walks away from the group. He chews pensively on his little athletic headband. He looks up at the Fiji night sky. And he delivers a monologue that had me legitimately swooning on my couch. I memorized it. He says, there's nothing more beautiful than following your heart because the ball keeps on rolling whether you're ready or not. I mean, put that quote in the Louvre. Put it in a poetry book.
The internet reaction to this moment was explosive. TikTok was flooding with edits of him looking at the stars. Fans were comparing the aesthetic of this moment to a Lana Del Rey song or the intense brooding yearning of Conrad Fisher from The Summer I Turned Pretty. They're calling it a Wattpad romance novel brought to life. He is the ultimate tortured romantic hero right now.
But I know how your brain works. I know you don't buy it. So tell me, what is your cynical theory here?
Burst my bubble.
Look, I appreciate the poetry. It was a beautiful sentence. But this raises an incredibly important question about the nature of reality television. Is Bryce genuinely the most romantic, emotionally regulated man in reality TV history? Or is he playing a brilliant, calculated, long-term game for the $100,000 prize? No, don't say it. Hear me out. He knows the cameras are on him. He knows that staying fiercely, stubbornly loyal while the girl he likes is off exploring makes him look like a martyr. It is the ultimate underdog storyline. The audience loves a loyal boy who gets his heart broken and stays true to his feelings. I think he might be heavily leaning into the die on my shield of feeling narrative because he knows it's exactly what the American voting public wants to hear. It guarantees him a spot in the finale. You are so cynical. I refuse to believe it. I want to believe that true love exists at the Love Island villa. But honestly, even if it is a calculated game, it's a flawlessly executed game. And Trinity, on the other side of the island, is playing an amazing game too, but in a totally different way.
Trinity's reaction to the postcards was fascinating.
She stepped up as the absolute MVP of the main villa. While all the other girls, Melanie, Kayda, Alannah, are literally crying on the floor in the makeup room, their mascara running down their faces, Trinity's acting like a 4-star military general. She turns her emotions completely off. He looks at these sobbing women and tells them to suck it up, wipe their tears, get a grip, and go find a number 2, because the boys are definitely, without a doubt, bringing girls back. She is the only one operating in reality.
She understands the brutal mechanics of the show. Survival in the villa requires a backup plan. She recognized that emotional breakdowns don't secure your spot. Strategy does. She's playing chess while the rest of them are playing Go Fish.
Right, that officially wraps up the recap portion of the night. But we have so much more to discuss. Speaking of shady behavior and strategy, I think we need to officially categorize some of these unhinged moments.
Let's do it. We have selected the 3 messiest moments of the episode, and we need to debate whether each action was shady, snarky, or stupid.
Okay, moment number 1. Sincere's sign language flex. Sincere bragging to Amora that he minored in sign language, only to struggle to sign the letter A. Is this stupid or shady?
It is unequivocally shady. I know we want to call it stupid because he got caught so easily and looked foolish, but the underlying intent is purely shady. He is actively fabricating a personality trait to appear sensitive, educated, and deep to a woman he just met. It's calculated manipulation disguised as incompetence.
I completely agree with you on the shady ruling. It's shady because he thought Amora was dumb enough to believe it. He genuinely thought he could just wave his hands around in the air, make a few vague shapes, and secure his spot in the villa. The disrespect to her intelligence is the shadiest part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Moment number 2, Casey's leeway comment. Casey telling the guys he deserves to explore without consequence because he gave Anaya compliments and spoke life into her.
Oh, this is pure, unadulterated shady. But I actually think it crosses the line into stupid.
How so?
It's stupid because he said it out loud on camera while mic'd up. Does he not know that America is watching him? Does he not understand how the female voting demographic works? He just alienated every single female voter watching the show. We know the double standards of the villa men are wild. They always think they can do whatever they want, but to vocalize it like that, to actually say the quiet part out loud. He is shady to his core, but he is fundamentally stupid in his execution of the game.
That is a very fair point. He destroyed his own PR campaign. He revealed a deeply transactional view of relationships, which is inherently shady, but ruined his chances of winning, which is stupid. Finally, moment number 3. Parmita's postcard celebration. The Casa girls, specifically Parmita, jumping up and down, screaming and cheering when they saw Kenzie's postcard showing her kissing another guy.
I am ruling this as peak snarky.
Defend that. Why snarky and not shady?
Because it's cutthroat reality TV survival. It's not shady because she isn't hiding it. Parmita doesn't care about Kenzie's feelings. She has never met Kenzie. Parmita cares about one thing, which is getting a ticket to the main villa. Seeing Kenzie kiss someone else guarantees that Corbin will bring Parmita back without any guilt. Her cheering is a snarky, physical manifestation of winning the game. She is celebrating a strategic victory. It's messy, it's a little mean, but I respect the absolute hustle of it.
I accept that ruling. It's pragmatic, unapologetic snark.
Love it. Okay, if we are talking about strategic victories and losses, we need to check in on the villa stock market. Based on everything we watched tonight, we are declaring whose stock is skyrocketing, falling, stable, or completely bankrupt.
I will start with skyrocketing, and the answer, whether we believe his intentions or not, is undeniably Bryce.
Without a doubt. The charts are green.
Defending this choice is easy. He secured the romance vote. The audience is eating out of the palm of his hand. He chewed his headband. He looked at the stars. He delivered a poetic monologue, and he chose loyalty in the face of immense temptation. Whether it's genuine love or a calculated performance for the cameras, his stock is at an all-time high. He is the main character right now.
He is giving Ethan Hawke into Way Before Sunrise. The stock is through the roof. He could IPO tomorrow. All right, my pick for Fallen. Casey.
A steep, catastrophic decline.
A complete market crash. He went from a fan favorite in week 1, the guy everyone was rooting for, to giving viewers the massive ick. The college versus high school comparisons, acting like a victim while actively juggling 2 women, and the horrific leeway comment. His stock is in a free fall. America is hitting the sell button as fast as they can.
For stable, we have to look at Kenzie.
Yes. Kenzie's stock never fluctuates because she is consistently chaotic evil. You know exactly what you are investing in.
Exactly. She is a blue chip stock of chaos. You know exactly what you were getting with Kenzie. She hops from guy to guy. She does physical splits on the dance floor to warm them up. She complains about the car smelling like ass during a pivotal emotional scene. And she plays the exact game Casa Amor was designed for. She is a stable, reliable investment in pure entertainment.
And finally, completely bankrupt. We have a tie between Sincere and Zach. They are both filing for Chapter 11.
Let's defend this. Sincere is morally bankrupt because he is going to ruin Melanie's life again. He is stringing Amora along just to test his own feelings, treating women like disposable experiments. And Zach, well, Zach is strategically bankrupt.
Completely. Zach fumbled the bag by kissing Alannah, who, again, was edited out and isn't even on the show anymore, and he lost Kayda's trust for absolutely nothing. He didn't even get a storyline out of it. He's going to walk back into that villa empty-handed, looking like a fool, and Kayda's going to destroy him. Bankrupt. Delisted from the exchange.
Which brings us to an interesting thought experiment. If we connect this to the bigger picture of how reality stars act post-season, when the cameras are off and they have their phones back, let's imagine the cast's private post-season group chat.
Ooh, I love this game. The group chat is always where the real drama happens. Yeah. Okay, who is the person sending the voice notes?
It has to be Kayda.
It is 100% Kayda. She is leaving 4-minute, tearful, rambling voice notes in the group chat at 2 a.m. overanalyzing a single text message Zach sent her. She's saying, you guys, he used a period at the end of the sentence. Does that mean he hates me? Should I block him? What did he mean by, okay?
And nobody is listening to the full 4 minutes. They are playing it on 2x speed and replying with a heart emoji.
Not a single person is listening. Okay, who starts the drama in the chat?
Kenzie. She is sitting in her apartment on a Tuesday, bored out of her mind, replying to everyone's Instagram stories with fire emojis just to stir the pot between couples. She's DMing Sincere while leaving heart comments on Melanie's photos. She thrives on the chaos. She needs the group chat to be active, to feel alive.
She is the ultimate pod stirrer, the joker of the deck. Now, who screenshots everything?
Trinity.
Oh, Trinity's the archivist. She is keeping a highly organized, encrypted digital burn book of every deleted tweet, every messy comment, every subliminal TikTok. She is hoarding receipts to use as leverage for the reunion special. She is silent in the chat. She rarely types, but she is saving every single image to her camera roll.
Exactly. She is building a case file. Which brings us to who leaves everyone on read.
Corbin. Corbin thinks he is way too cool for the group chat. He probably has the chat on mute permanently. Everyone will be planning a massive cast trip to Miami. There will be 400 unread messages about Airbnb logistics. And Corbin will just pop in and reply, bet, 3 days after the conversation ended.
Perfectly accurate. And finally, who is secretly the funniest person in the chat?
Hear me out on this one. Carl.
Really? Carl? Actually, I see it.
Yes. Carl is the posh guy, right? He's quiet on the show. He doesn't get a lot of screen time. But in the group chat, he is lethal. He is dropping a perfectly timed, dry, British humor-style roasts that completely destroy the Casa boys. Sincere will post a highly edited thirst trap selfie, and Carl will just reply with a single sign language emoji. Devastating.
A lethal precision strike. I love that for Carl. He's playing the long game.
All right. We're at our final phase of the night, hot takes. This is where we lay it all on the line and fiercely debate our ultimate picks for the episode. You start.
I will start with my MVP of the episode. It is Trinity.
I agree, but defend it. Why her over Bryce?
Because she was proactive, not reactive. For turning off the tears, acting like a general, and commanding the OG girls to get back in the game. When everyone else was wallowing in self-pity and letting the producers win, she assessed the battlefield, realized the boys were inevitably going to bring girls back, because that's how the game works, and told her friends to secure a backup man. It was cold, it was calculated, and it was the best advice anyone gave all season. She protected her friends by forcing them to be ruthless.
She was basically screaming, get a grip, we are on television. I loved it. Okay, my turn. Biggest red flag. I'm giving this to Jen.
Over Casey and Sincere. You have to defend that one.
Yes. Look, Casey and Sincere are walking, talking red flags. We know this. They're billboard-sized red flags. But Jen's red flag is so insidious and subtle, saying, I've always had guys obsessed with me as an immediate defense mechanism when someone simply tries to communicate with you. That is terrifying behavior.
Yeah.
She got mad at Gal for being honest and checking in on her feelings, punished him by giving him the cold shoulder, and then ran to kiss a guy with a dead tooth just to artificially feed her ego. It shows a complete inability to handle slight perceived rejection or engage in mature communication. Huge red flag for any real-world relationship.
That is a very fair assessment. It's narcissism masked as confidence. Okay, my pick for biggest green flag is Bryce.
Even with your cynical, he's playing a game for the money theories.
Even with my cynical theories. Because even if it's a performance, the execution of the performance is a green flag. Holding back from the Casa temptations, processing his emotions internally instead of lashing out at the women around him, and communicating his feelings beautifully. In an environment specifically designed by psychologists to make you act terribly and betray your partner, he chose restraint. That is a green flag, whether it's for love or for a brand deal.
I love that perspective. Okay, most delusional islander. This is easy. We already talked about it. Melanie, staring at a high-definition photograph of her man biting another woman's neck with his hair fully down out of his braids and saying, maybe it's a challenge. Babes, the delusion is terminal. We need to get her medical attention immediately.
It is a profound rejection of objective reality.
Truly. All right, let's wrap this up with one prediction for the next episode.
The recoupling is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
A massacre. My prediction is that Casey brings back Tiara, completely breaking Anaya's heart on national television, because Anaya didn't secure a backup like Trinity told her to. And Zach, well, Zach comes back single, expecting Kayda to be waiting for him with open arms, hoping they can just laugh off the postcard, only to face her absolute unfiltered wrath because she knows he kissed Alannah.
And without Alannah there to distract the narrative or take any of the blame, all of Kayda's anger is going to be focused entirely 100% on Zach. It is going to be a Shakespearean tragedy at that fire pit.
I have my popcorn ready. Snark Squad, we need to hear from you. We need you to weigh in on everything we talked about today.
We have some specific questions for you to mull over in the comments.
First, what reality show universe would you actually survive for a month? Are you a Love Island girly who can handle the sun and the emotional trauma? Or are you hiding in the Top Chef pantry, avoiding eye contact like my co-host? Second, what is your absolute favorite summer lunch? Is it garlic potatoes, or are you wrong? And third, which islander would you trust the least with your food order?
Definitely sincere. He'd eat half your fries and say he's testing the connection to see if he likes potato.
I just needed to see if the salt ratio worked for me, bro, is empirical research.
Yeah, exactly.
And finally, who are you rooting for going into this massive Casa Amor recoupling? Let us know.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final, deeper thought to mull over regarding the psychological design of reality TV isolation. The producers don't just put hot people in a house to see what happens. They actively, intentionally remove their ability to self-regulate. They take away their music, their internet, their outside friends, their familiar coping mechanisms. They force their entire emotional baseline to depend entirely on strangers they met 4 days ago. So, the next time you watch someone completely spiral over a 4x6 photograph, ask yourself, are we watching romance unfold, or are we watching a highly controlled psychological stress test designed to break the human spirit?
Oof. That X-ray machine of human emotion is definitely murky, but we love to watch it. Thank you so much for listening tonight. Remind yourselves to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this with another messy babe in your life who loves the drama as much as we do.
Stay flirty, stay messy.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.